Hi everyone. I just wanted to share a quick process video with you on how to build this wreath using a Dingbat font. I have placed a 3-inch circle from the library on my mat. I have also added a Dingbat from the FE Floral Dingbat file font, and this is the lowercase c. All right, I am going to highlight this. All right, and I'm going to use Command C and V to copy a few extra, a few extra of the images onto my map. And I'm just going to separate them a little bit so it's easier to get them ready for use. These have also been sized. And the size that I've entered, I'll get that information for you here just a second. Let me finish moving these. It's being persnickety this morning. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll keep that highlighted. And the size for this is 0.821 inches for the width, and the height is 0.889. All right, and you'll have to make those adjustments with the first one, and then you can just copy and paste the remaining images that you want. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 images, and that should be plenty. But I know that right now, if I continue to need additional ones, I can just do a Control V or a Command V if you're using a PC to be able to paste a couple more on my mat. So now I'm going to highlight one, and I'm just going to bring it over here, and I'm going to manipulate it a little bit and put it on the circle, the line of the circle. I'm going to continue to do this all the way around and try and space them as evenly as I can. They do not have to touch because we're going to put another image in there that will allow them to connect in a little bit. Okay, so it's just this simple. And I decided that I wanted them all to go the same way. And just manipulate as needed so that they're on the outside of that line. Remember that I am going to be creating a A2 card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. So I do not want my outside edge of this wreath to be any larger than 4 inches. I want to give myself just enough room so that I have a nice margin around the wreath for the outside of the card. And the reason I want it smaller is because I am going to put this on a panel. And I'm just using the mouse to move. You can use the direction keys if you'd like to nudge if you find that you're getting a little bit too much movement with your mouse. So you have that option to do some movement. So I'm going to start now on this bottom half. Whoops, too much. And nudge it a little bit. That's about right. And I'm just going to continue to finish up. It looks like I might need an extra one, but we'll see. Yep, I am. And I'm going to push that up just a little bit. Whoops. There. Almost. Okay. Now I can readjust a few of these, give them a little bit more space if you don't want to make any more. And I think I'm going to end up just doing some, yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and just flip this using the flip tool, take it down, and leave it in. Okay, so I'm going to create a little bit wider spaces on the upper part of my ring. This one will now need to be rotated just a little bit more so it's on the line. There we go. And the same with this one. And I'm going to nudge this one down. This is really, really easy, as you can see. And now I've got the basis of my wreath. You can add additional foliage if you want. These are not connected, and so if you do the contour cut to connect everything, you're still going to have a break. So I decided to add a connector, and in this case I used a heart. And I'm going to just use heart 2, and I'm going to resize it just a little bit, and the size for this one is now 0.533 and 0.546. You can adjust it however you want. I am again going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hearts. So I'm going to do Control P, Control C, or Command C. Hang on, let's try it again. It's not, there we go. And just move these and start placing them in and rotate them however you want. You can make some go to the left, some to go to the right, some turn inwards, be straight up. You do want to make sure that they cross the edges and that they are connected. This one is not. Connected with the previous one. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. And you're just going to place these however you want and manipulate them however you want. You just want to make sure that there is a connection between all of them. Okay. Now in my article I stated that I used the union. Once I was sure of what I wanted my shape to look like, I used the union. But in this case, right now, I'm just going to use weld. All right. I'm not sure that this is going to be my final one, so I want to have that option of being able to change something if I want it changed, the look. So I am going to go to the wrench tool right here, which is a style tool, and I'm going to click weld. All right, now I'm going to go up to preview. Let me blow this up a little bit. All right, and I'm going to go to preview. But because I didn't, this is only half of the wreath. It does not include the inside of the wreath because I did not hide or remove the circle. So let's go do that really quick. I'm going to just hide it so that if I make suggestions, and I can see right here that this isn't going to connect. So let's scooch that down just a little bit. There we go. All right, and I can look at this one. I can see the same issue here, and I'm going to just scooch this one over just a little bit. So by using a zoom in option to your screen, you can see where your cuts might be. Now I'm going to look at preview. Okay, and because I have a weld, it's grayed out. Okay, so I have a solid cut. But some of these lines are pretty fine. And if you notice, the leaves have an inset cut. Now I'm not going to try and take those out. I can break each of the images apart a little bit, but we're going to have a problem with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a contour cut. But in order to do that, I need to union this. I want to make sure, or I can leave it as welded. Let's try it as welded. And then I'm going to go to Effects. I'm going to go to Shadow Layer, Contour Cut. This is a pretty large contour, and it'll be really bulky, and the outside edge will be 3.639 or larger. So I don't want to go as close to that 4 as I don't want to get that big. So I'm going to manipulate this a little bit. I'm going to change it down to 0.025 to about half. And let's see what happens there. And I'm going to click return. All right, and that's still not, it looks like most of the shadow is there. And I think that would be okay, but I am not real happy with it. So I'm going to delete this one. It's really nice that you can do this directly from it. So I've got to highlight my image again. I'm going to go to Effects, Shadow Layer, and I'm going to do 0.030. And let's see what that looks like. That I like. I think that's just about right. And so I'm going to click on OK. And it looks like I have a pretty good image there. All right, so I want to make sure that this is going to cut as one in L. I'm going to make sure that this up here is all grouped. So I don't want the shadow layer showing, but I do want all of this. Okay, this is my grouping, and I want to make sure that that's grouped so that now I can move it out of the way or hide it. Okay, if I hide it, I can come back down here to my lower right hand corner and cut. And that is how you make your wreath.